The relationship between humans and dogs is one that spans thousands of years, characterized by companionship, loyalty, and deep emotional bonds. As we welcome dogs into our lives, they become cherished members of our families, bringing joy and unconditional love. However, like all living creatures, dogs are also mortal beings, and the concept of death inevitably enters the equation. This raises the intriguing question: do dogs fear death? Exploring this topic not only helps us better understand our canine companions but also sheds light on the emotional complexity of animals. In this video, we will delve into the behavior, cognition, and emotional capacity of dogs to determine whether they experience fear or apprehension regarding death. The emotional lives of dogs. To understand whether dogs fear death, we must first acknowledge their emotional lives. Numerous scientific studies have shown that dogs possess a wide range of emotions, including joy, fear, anxiety, and empathy. Dogs exhibit empathy towards their human caregivers and fellow canines, indicating their ability to understand and respond to the emotions of others. Additionally, dogs display fear and anxiety in various situations, such as during thunderstorms, visits to the veterinarian, or when left alone for extended periods. These emotional responses suggest that dogs have a subjective experience of the world, which may extend to their perception of death. 2. Perception of mortality. While dogs may not possess the abstract concept of death as humans do, they are capable of perceiving and reacting to its manifestations. Dogs are observant creatures, attuned to changes in their environment, including the absence or loss of a familiar companion. When a dog's pack member or human caregiver passes away, they often exhibit signs of distress, such as decreased appetite, lethargy, or prolonged periods of mourning. These behaviors suggest that dogs are sensitive to the loss of life and can recognize its impact on their social structure and emotional well-being. 3. The role of instinct. In addition to their emotional capacity, dogs possess instincts that can influence their responses to death. Dogs are descended from wolves, highly social animals with complex pack dynamics. In the wild, wolves rely on the pack for survival, and the death of a pack member can have significant consequences. Similarly, domesticated dogs often form close bonds with their human families, and the loss of a pack member or primary caregiver can create feelings of vulnerability and distress. It is plausible that dogs' instinctual responses to death are rooted in their evolutionary heritage, further influencing their perception of mortality. Recognition of mortality. Do dogs possess the cognitive ability to recognize their own mortality? While research in this area is limited, there is evidence to suggest that dogs may possess some level of self-awareness. Studies conducted on a few select animal species, such as primates, dolphins, and elephants, have shown some ability to recognize themselves in mirrors, indicating a form of self-awareness. Although dogs have not been included in such studies, they have demonstrated an understanding of their own bodies, as evidenced by their ability to navigate through obstacles and recognize their reflections in mirrors. While dogs may not comprehend the full implications of death, it is possible that they have a rudimentary awareness of their own mortality. Versus fear or acceptance. Understanding whether dogs fear death requires careful observation of their behavior and responses to mortality-related stimuli. Dogs may exhibit signs of anxiety or fear when faced with death-related experiences, such as visits to the veterinarian or witnessing the loss of a companion. However, these reactions may stem from the stress or discomfort associated with these specific situations rather than a direct fear of death itself. Dogs generally live in the present moment, and their ability to accept and adapt to changing circumstances may influence their attitude towards mortality. While dogs may experience grief and sadness over the loss of a loved one, their fear of death as a concept may be less pronounced compared to humans. Conclusion. In contemplating whether dogs fear death, it is essential to acknowledge their emotional capacity, ability to perceive mortality, and evolutionary instincts. Dogs undoubtedly possess emotions and display reactions to death-related events, indicating an awareness of loss and its impact on their social structure. While dogs may not possess the abstract understanding of death that humans do, their responses suggest a level of recognition and emotional engagement with the concept. Ultimately, It is challenging to definitively determine whether dogs fear death, as it is an inherently complex and subjective experience. Nevertheless, by deepening our understanding of dogs' emotional lives and their responses to mortality, we can continue to enhance the well-being and bond between humans and their beloved canine companions. If you liked this video, please click the subscribe button below.